Hi guys, right, this is going to be possibly a maybe 3-part little episode that we're going to do, and it's about making a rare parting tool for a lathe, my lathe obviously in question, which is the Myford. You can buy a Myford rare tool post. I don't think they're cheap. I don't think you can buy one that I'm aware of that holds the blade type tools. The blade type, which is, that's the one in question. So I'm going to make one, but I want to make one with a difference. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and any of you that watch any of my other videos will have seen I'm always harping on about making a rare parting tool. Parting off on a little lathe and Myford, if any of you that's got lathes and you do parting off will know, it's always a bit of a hit and miss, especially if you're cutting something hard with using your compound and your standard cross slide and a tool holder. So I've got up there, I've got a cross slide, I've got the compound that's adjustable and swivels and tightens up, then I've got the large quick change tool holder, which is another piece of kit that swivels and tightens up, and then hanging off the side of that you've got yourself your tool holders. You've got a lot of hang out and a lot of stick over. I've tried moving the compound to different angles so that it's not pulling on the gibs just sideways and it's more of its length, and I've had some success. And the guys that have got the big lathes, the big Colchesters, and although having said that, my friend's got a Colchester student, big thing, lovely lathe. He hates parting off with it. He's always getting it jammed up. He's given up. He puts a board on it now and he uses an angle grinder. He says that's it. I've tried all sorts now, because it jumps about. So the Myford seems to work well, and probably a lot of mini lathes with a rare parting tool, putting upside down, use your lathe in the normal forward position, and they seem to cut a lot better because they're more stable. The only thing I saw wrong with some of them is that the clamping to a quick change tool holder. So you then put that into some sort of Dickinson holder or your own manufactured one. I think Steve Jordan's done one, and you fasten that in and bolt that down with your Allen screws. But what I just saw as a bit of a not sure about is it fixes with one single bolt to one T-slot, and it also has a lot of stick out because it's a tool holder fastened into a tool post, and it just seems to me, again, you're moving off the centre line. So this idea is to try and make something that's compact, that the blade won't be far away from the centre spindle bolt, and also extending the side of it. Had a bigger piece of steel I would have done it all in one, but I haven't. And to make it an extension to that, to pick up another one or two T-slot of the next T-slot on, so you're not just holding on the back T-slot, you're holding on two T-slots. Again, my logic might be all wrong, but I just thought it might make it a lot more stable. So without further ado, we'll whip over onto the bench and I'll show you what we're doing. But as I say, unfortunately this is going to end up being probably 3 parts long at least, but hope some of you will find it interesting. Those that don't, not a problem. Okay. Oh, this block of metal, what a nightmare. Been using cut-off machine and it don't cut very well. It sort of cuts for so long, and then it sort of, you can tell it in cutting because there's no sparks coming off at wheel. I'll probably mention this more than once, but I'm suspicious that this is, I think, is an EN1A, which I believe has quite a bit of lead in it. They say machine's lovely, but it don't weld very well, and I've a sneaky feeling that the big 3 40mm cutter I've got, 325 whatever it is, cut off machine. I think the blade clogs up, must be picking bits of lead out of it. I don't know what the reason is. All I know is I've had this problem before cutting some bar with it, and it's a cut-off machine I brought into my retirement. I've had it for years and years. When I had my business, we used to cut all our stainless trunking with it, and dairy pipe and all sorts of stuff, and steel for brackets, etc. And I remember last time I had a problem with it, and what I did, I put it away in disgust. It got brand new blade on, and I had a spare one, so I put that on just in case. They were definitely for steel, and they were from Screwfix. I came to the conclusion it was lead in this that were doing it. And then some time later I needed to cut a big chunk of stainless bar, and I got the cut-off machine out again, and I plunged into a piece of stainless bar, and it cut through it like butter. Absolutely perfect. So I am suspicious there's something about this metal. So I'm having to try finish it off with an hacksaw. You pig. Put the light on. So this is how far cut-off wheel cut through, and I've done all that with hacksaw. Horrible. I'm going to make a decision now, because I want to machine this. That first of all, I get myself a square to start with, then turn it over, and I've got all this top to machine. There's quite a bit to come off. I'll show you what I think my problem might be. That's the amount of stick out of this Chinese vice, and I'm worried that with the pressure I'm going to put on with the cutting tool, that it could knock it over. It wouldn't be tight enough. Although it is a smashing little vice, I'm not knocking it, but I still got my old Abwood, and they've got a hell of a grip. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking this off and bobbing the old Abwood back on to do this particular task. I think I'm making the right decision, because as I say, there's a lot of pressure to put on this, and I don't want to I don't want the thing chucking out, do I? Chucking, throwing out, grabbing, whatever. So I'm going to take this little one off. There's another reason. I just measured the Abwood. This one's got 1.25 inches of depth, just over 30mm. The Abwood's got a bit more depth as well as the grip being better. Yeah, you see, the Abwood's over 1.5 inches. It's like 40mm. Yeah, it's nearly 40mm grip, whereas this has probably got 30. I definitely think best thing to do is take that off, put the Abwood back on, just while we do this machine. Okay, that's all good. I'll tighten that up finally. So the abwood's on and it's trammed in, so I can make a start on clamping up. Okay, now I've done that, I can use power feed. Just wanted to make sure first skim off top, it's just taking a bit off that back edge. So we need to come up 0.35 of a mil. Very quiet. Which makes me believe it is EN1A. Well, like on level box it was showing 5 degrees tilt on the bed. So what I've done is I've undone the feet, adjustable feet, and I've wound up till I got 0, so the bed's reading 0, the vice face is reading 0, and then I've had the level box on the upright and the square. It should be good. Fingers crossed. How it will zoom in, I don't know. My battery's flat as well. No, that's gone out of focus. Nice finish. So I'm going to flip that over, deburr it, flip it over, and then I can start taking all my material off. But I cut it with a hacksaw and the cut-off machine, etc. So take it gingerly. Got the depth of it. I took one right little fine cut, so I've just brought it up 0.15 or 0.145 of a mil. You notice when it gets to the end and it goes off the end, you always get that vibration as it bobs off the end. And you can see how much I'm going to jack it up. 0.24. We're about there. and that's the spindle speed that we've run at all the way through. This little handle is just a little GoPro Hero 5 Session. It's a little square cube one. It's what I use on my motorbike crash helmet when we're out on the bike. I've had it for years and it's been really, really good. Right, so I've shown you that. I'll put that in as a little clip in the corner. Okay, so now we've got this block machined. It's 95 plus probably 1. See my mark if I can find it. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's probably 95 plus 1, maybe 96 then. So we're all squared up. I've no intention of taking any more off these sides other than this one side, which is going to accept this block. You maybe understand better now what I'm going to do is I'm going to machine out all the way down here to a preset amount and then come back out again, and that's going to then sit down inside there and be bolted and slotted so it'll adjust with 4 bolts, so it'll adjust up and down by 4mm in total, 2mm each side of centre, so that this blade that's going to be in here can be adjusted up and down by 2mm each side of centre, which you can't do on the Myford one, and well, most of what people have made, you can't do that. It was just a bit of an Achilles heel that I could see, is that, you know, if you ever wanted to go with a longer tip, it came with a longer tip or a different tool that was the same dimensions but made by a different company and ended up being slightly different to that, you could compensate for it within the adjustment that I was going to afford it. It's going to have a dovetail in the top to accept this sharp edge up into it, then sit back, and then it's going to have a keeper plate with half a dovetail in it, taper, to clamp it and push it tight with two bolts. So look at my drawing. Yes, there'll be 2 bolts in it. So that'll be clamped really tight into that holder, trapped between 2 dovetails. So that's the plan. This is part 1 of making a rare parting tool and holder complete. There might be people that are going to watch this, are going to say you're an idiot, because why don't you just buy one? Well, first of all, if you're going to buy one, you're cheating, aren't you? Because the whole idea of this hobby machinist thing is to make things, and I like making little gadgets and things, and this is only a small project and I like doing it. I'm going to show it all and probably a lot of crap in between. Now, I am a member of certain forums, and there's people on there that keep saying, well, why don't you just, well, not odd people would say, you know, why are you showing all that in 1, 2 or 3 parts or 4 or whatever, when you could have shown a 2.5 minute clip of making whatever you're making. And that's true, you could, but I don't see that's what YouTube's all about. Personally, I think it's people who like to watch things. There's a lot of guys like myself, you'll have your tea and you'll put YouTube on. You can either go watch a film on telly or watch the horrible news that we've got at the moment, which is ultra depressing, as we all know, or you know, you can maybe watch YouTube and watch somebody that's made something, or it could be 1 or 2 or 3 parts. You might watch it over a few nights. The good thing about it, and I will say in my defence, is if you don't like a particular part of, say, me on the milling machine milling a chunk of metal away, which loads and loads of forum members have got their own milling machine, they don't want to see somebody else milling away a piece of steel. There's also probably 80% of those people haven't got a milling machine and are interested in it and think, oh yeah, if I ever get one, blah blah blah. That's why I'm showing it all, and I will continue to do it that way and try and explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So if there's any of Mark Presling's forum viewers, sorry, not forum, viewers, subscribers, etc., have come across to see me with the result of Mark giving me a thumbs up, a mention today, which is fantastic, and thank you very much, Mark. Quite a few people have come across and been having a look at what I'm doing, and I hope they continue to have a look and subscribe, which most of them have. So yeah, I won't go any further with this tonight. It's 6 o'clock, it's time to go make some tea. But the next time I come back to this, I'll have probably got all this set up in the milling machine, and I'll be cutting out this big chunk, because that's got to be the next job. And then after that, I'll probably be machining this, or try to cut this down somehow. I'll probably be doing it with hacksaw, or I might have a go with a bandsaw, because it's too long, it wants cutting down, and then it needs a big chunk machining out of it, where the dovetail is going to be for the tool itself, for the blade to go in. So that's the next part, which will be part 2. So this is the end of part 1. I hope you've enjoyed watching what I'm going to put on YouTube, and I'll edit it and try not to make it too long, although most of my videos end up being too long, and I'm sorry, I do apologise, but like I say, just skip through it. There might be something you don't want to see on it, just skip through it. I do regularly, and get to a nice chunky bit and think, yeah, that's good, I'll watch that bit. I did buy, I've got a dovetail cutter, and I thought it was going to be too deep. Well, it was a 60-degree one anyway. This one's only a 45, which I thought would be better for this. When I ordered it off eBay, I thought it was a lot bigger than this, and it's a right little mini thing. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a right dinky little thing. Although, you know, it's got a 10mm shank on it, it's probably going to be okay. That's to cut the side out when I want to do this for this blade. Look, that bit's falling out. Because them blades, you won't be able to see it, but they come to a point. They're chamfered on both sides. So if you stuck that into a dovetail edge and shoved it up tight, it'd grip it. And that's what that's for, to make that way. It's either that, or get an HSS milling cutter and grind it to like a gear cutter, because that's actually like a gear cog, what you'd go into a cog, but I don't think it needs it. We'll see. Okay, thank you for watching.